I met you here in St. Petersburg.
Right. So I lived in St. Charles, Missouri for 30 years.
What did you do there in St. Charles when you were there?
Oh my gosh.
30 years is
I did
30
so
years is a
much.
lifetime. Yeah.
Yes. I started 4 businesses and I started doing that from the age 18. I was a floral designer. I was not planning on doing that, but I was good at it. So anything that I see myself excelling in, I want to own it. So I did that, and then when I was in St. Louis, I started my own jewelry company from the ground up and started selling on Amazon and teaching how to do it. And now I'm a realtor. So I embrace the opportunities.
So what were you teaching on Amazon?
How to start your own Amazon business and how to sell on there.
So your products, it's like basically product development.
Yep.
And developing the actual hosting on Amazon. Did you teach how to start the pages and the commerce side of it as
Yes.
well? And okay, excellent.
The logistics, yes.
Now, is that something people could still reach out to you for?
No. Why? Because Amazon makes it so incredibly difficult. And now, because I mean that's been years, but now Amazon they sell their own products on there. So they were a very difficult company to work with. Yes, as my own. Yes, as my business.
Wow.
So, but I did buy and sell a lot, not just on Amazon, but in other sectors. But yeah.
Marvelous to know. So we're going to go into your real estate aspect, and how did you even find St. Petersburg? Because St. Petersburg, I'm like, how do you people keep finding St. Petersburg? St. Petersburg is not really on the map. How do you find this place?
And it's kind of crazy because my parents have lived here since I was 19. So for a very long time, and I would come here often and visit and everything, but through all those years, it was such a broad time span. I didn't really remember a lot of details about any real specific places. So after I moved here, I stayed in their condo down in Palmetto for 4 months. And prior to moving here, I'm all about positioning myself. So I wanted to position myself to move with a job. And I reconnected with a jewelry company that I had worked with in the past. And what I did for them was I took over their low performing jewelry stores and got them up to par. So I moved here in 2020 at the end of June, and that was during COVID time, and increased revenue 300% in the first month. So I got all the numbers up. Things were going well. I love to work, so I worked a lot. And the whole plan was for me to open up 10 locations here because I didn't want to just run a store. That's not a big enough challenge for me. So, and then that fell through. And so, I mean, you don't have winners here. I had no idea how many realtors Florida had. So, however, I embrace the opportunity and the challenge because I know that whatever you put in, I own it, and I'm not afraid to work hard to make things happen.
So you're a realtor, and how did you get into real estate? When I say that, what school did you go to? Did you pass the test, the class the first time?
Yeah. I just took the course. I do a lot of research. And so I researched, and I started out with Coldwell Banker, and because they were right down the road from me, and this was still during COVID. So a week after I signed up with them, the broker resigned. So here's another challenge I did embrace. I had a lot of questions, a lot of realtors that I had met that started out when I did. They've moved on outside into different industries where I'm not afraid to go after the answers. And it was definitely a different industry compared to what I've been used to, and I've taken on many challenges. So for me, I couldn't understand why I wasn't excelling quickly. And so after my first year, I really analyzed it and understood the industry a little better. And because it's tough being in a brand new state, not really knowing any places, locations, people. I didn't have a book of business. And so really starting from the ground up, I really had to do a lot of self-analyzing and what is actually making me money with my time. And I'm just really grateful for the opportunity of being introduced to BNI as well. I have embraced that and ran with that because it's really all about how many people you connect with, how many people you help. And I just have always lived that giver's gain where I just want to help people however I can because I feel like I have the ability to help people. And so why wouldn't you?
Well, that's excellent. So you've turned your learning curve into a successful real estate business, and where you are with that business now?
Always, always. Well, in the real estate world, it does take years to establish. So, and it also takes pivoting because there's many things that happen, not just in real estate, but in people's lives and what they're dealing with and the uncertainty of things. So this is where I really take a lot of pride in offering good information, good data, because when you can provide that, it kind of spells it out, which direction makes the most sense for them. So, and being full-time, that truly is the key. It doesn't matter how many years you've held a license, but do you do it full-time? Because if you don't, it is incredibly difficult to stay on top of what's going on in the market and to provide accurate data.
This much is true. So your numbers have gone up. What would you say your numbers have gone up from since the first year?
4 times. Yes.
That's
And I don't ever really realize where I'm at until I share my story with other seasoned realtors, and they're pretty impressed. So I guess I'm doing okay.
That's marvelous. BNI. Can you tell us a little bit about what BNI is?
BNI is Business Networking International, and it is the largest networking organization in the world. They just celebrated their 40th year in existence. So it is a great opportunity if you are, if you just started your business, or if you want to level up your business, and it's all relationship building. So whenever you belong to an organization and you work within that, then most people will thrive from that one way or the other, whether it is getting referrals, quality referrals, not leads, or the connections that you make that can really change your life.
Oh, that's excellent. And you started a new chapter. I think you told me, if I'm not mistaken, that you started a new chapter.
I did, yes.
How was the journey doing that?
So I was in my old chapter for a year, and then I decided on what was important to me and how can I make my vision happen. And so I started my own chapter, and it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was much more difficult than I expected. However, it will definitely pay off, and I'm just really, really happy that I was able to give all these other business owners the opportunity of being on this team. And that's how I look at it, as I formed this team. I only wanted power hitters, not seat warmers, very motivated people, but also people who have great character. That's really important. And when you believe in these businesses, It's so much easier